good friend Justin is here.
Hey, Dave.
As is Rachel.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Nice
How
to
are
see
ya?
you again.
Of
Everyone's
course.
doing a great job.
Honey.
No,
Do you hear
yeah.
that?
Oh, we've
Hi,
been.
honey.
Wow.
Well, you haven't been watching Scarborough, have you?
No.
And was it Mika? Is that her name?
He calls her honey?
Yeah, well, no, they got engaged a couple days ago.
Whoa! What are you implying?
Yeah, I'm just saying these people on television. Next thing you know, they're getting married and engaged. Anyway,
Wow.
it's a long story.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore.
And if you don't watch MSNBC, you wouldn't know what was going on.
No,
Anyway.
definitely don't watch MSNBC.
All right, well, good for you because never mind. I don't want to get in trouble. So we're back, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of doing custom rings. And we do a lot of custom work here.
Awesome.
It's a big part of our business, and it's becoming a big part of what people want. This is what people are asking for when they're coming into the store. So recently, we made up a very, very interesting ring, and I thought it might be a lot of fun to walk everybody through the process. And you guys know the ring. You've seen it go through the process as well. And so we're going to put up some pictures, actually, of the entire process that we used for making this ring.
Cool.
So a woman came in, and she had a big pear-shaped diamond that she wanted to have made into a custom ring, and she wanted to do something really special with it, something really unique. And I said, great, no problem, we can take care of that. And she came in with a drawing, and I think we're getting ready to bring that up now. So this is how it kind of started out. She brought this in, she had found it on the internet, and she said, all right, with the faces. She brought this drawing in, and she said, this is what I like. This is the ideal or the inspiration for the ring that I want to make with my diamond. And we said, sure, that's not a problem. That's the type of thing that we do all the time. And I said, sure, let's get it started. So the first thing that we do is we do a CAD drawing. And that's probably one of the biggest things that's happening in the industry right now is all this CAD design.
Yeah, you want to explain what CAD stands for and what it means?
Sure. Computer animated design.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's very, very helpful because back in the day, we used to have to kind of like try to draw a picture, and it was a sketch, and you really couldn't see the ring. I mean, you kind of got an idea depending on how great the artist was. But today, we can draw it three-dimensionally like you're looking at now, and you can see how we can lay out the entire ring for the person, and we show them multiple views. So I think, what do we have? Maybe three views of this. There we go. And what we're doing here, just so you know, is those diamonds that are in the black area are actually black diamonds. And then what we do is rhodium plate the white gold metal black with like a black rhodium. We talk about white rhodium plating rings to make them whiter.
Right.
Well, you can black rhodium rings and make them black. So we have in those starburst on the top, all the black diamonds with the black rhodium on top. And then the rest of it was all done in 14 karat white gold. And you can even see the prongs that are sticking up, where the diamond is in the center. And that's because we're going to take this piece right here that we've drawn, and we're going to print it in wax in order to make the mounting for her to set her diamonds into. Yeah. So this is it. This is actually printed on a wax printer. And here we go through the process. We'll just click through these really quick. But you can see now we bring this into the customer, and we can actually show them the wax and how it looks, and they can get a feel for the dimensions of the ring and the size of it. And it looks really, really kind of cool. And then when it's all said and done, we're going to cast that in gold, and then do all the rest of the work with the setting process of the diamonds and all the polishing. And there's the finished product. And that's how the ring ultimately came out. So, going back to her original, not that I want you to switch back to the pictures, but if you think back to the original picture that I showed you, you can see that, it came out to be very, very similar. Let's see another view of this if we could. Yeah, look at that. There's
now
a lot of
that's a
detail.
custom piece.
Yeah.
You don't find that just in a store.
No, and that's what it's all about. And she was thrilled when she got this ring. It came out absolutely perfect, exactly the way she wanted it. And that's the danger of working with custom jewelry.
Right.
Is someone comes in with an idea in their mind of what they're looking for, and then you try to draw it out for them back when we had to do the drawings. And then when you then you make the ring and give it to them, it's like, that's not exactly what I thought it was going to be.
And at that point, what happens?
That's a big problem. Yeah, at that point, it's a real issue because, when you're doing this type of work, it's hard to go back and undo it.
Right.
So it really makes it difficult for the jeweler to make what that person's envisioning in their mind and then make it in a three-dimensional object exactly the way they're picturing it. It's very hard to connect those dots together for people.
Right.
So,
if not impossible, right? I mean, if they say they don't like it, I mean, they have to... You can't just go back and fix it in some instances. You have to remake the whole thing.
Over.
Basically.
And who's going to eat that cost, typically? Is it the jeweler or the customer?
Well, it just depends. My experience has been in the custom work that we've done is very rarely do we run into a situation where it doesn't come out looking exactly or very, very close to what they had envisioned because we have all these new tools, right. that are available to us. But in the situation where that does happen, there has to be, I think, some give and take between the jeweler and the person who's designing it because you're working together as a team and you're trying to do the best you can to make that ring the way they want it. And hopefully they'll be satisfied with it. But if they're not, you try to make an accommodation to make it work.
Right.
And fortunately for us, like I say, 99% of the time, we'll nail it the first time and it's never really an issue.
Right.
And at that point, it's really rewarding for the jeweler.
Oh, yeah.
To finish a custom piece and they absolutely love it. That's, I think, the great part about making a custom piece. But that 1% where it doesn't come out, that's an ugly part of the custom process on our end. Because we will eat the cost and it hurts.
It does. No, it absolutely does. And here's the key right here is that when you're doing this type of custom work, you want to make sure that not only can can the designer design it, but can they make it?
Right.
There were, in that particular ring, there were no less than 7 people, different people involved in making that ring. There was one guy that casted the ring. There's one guy that set the diamonds. There's one guy that did the rhodium plating and the polishing. There's one guy for, doing some of the side setting work. It was all done by different people who were experts in those particular fields.
Right.
That's how a piece of jewelry should be made. In a lot of jewelry stores, what they do is they have one bench jeweler that works there, and he's good at a lot of things, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but he's not good at everything. And so it's very important that you deal with someone who has the right staff, the right operators, if you will, the right designers, and the right people on staff that can then finish the job and get it done right. Because a piece like that, for us, it took only 3 weeks to put it together. In some cases, it'll take somebody a couple of months. But we've got all these people lined up, and we do it all the time, so we can go through the process a lot quicker.
Right.
It's a very involved process. Howard, do we have the capability to go back to the CAD, one of the CAD renderings? Is that possible?
Yeah, he's working on it.
Yes, it is. I'm going to.
Oh, cool. Because I have a lot to talk about. Custom design pieces, and one of the things that I don't understand with all of our technology, because I just went through this with one of my customers with a custom design, she couldn't wrap her head around this photo, not this exact one, but why, with all the technology, can we not show a rendering that the prongs are down, the edges are softened, the thing is polished? Why does it have to be such, with all the technology?
Yeah.
Why can't it be rendered in a way that it's going to look more like the finished product? Because she really struggled with that. Can you explain?
Sure. Fine. No. There's 2 types of processes. That CAD drawing is the exact drawing that we're going to use. So again, sorry, Howard, but if you could pop it back up. You notice how the prongs were sticking up?
Yeah.
That's because from that drawing, we're going to print the wax. All right, so those prongs have to stick up. I mean, you notice when the ring was done, right?
That I get.
Okay.
That's because it's preset.
Okay, so that we have to draw this ring as it's going to be casted.
Right.
What you're talking about is a whole different other kind of CAD drawings.
Right.
Where all you're doing is you're just drawing the design of the ring, not the actual casting that it's going to be made from.
Exactly. So from our point of view as a salesman, can't they just simply do 2 instead of 1? So they give us this rendering that you're going to actually do the 3D wax of, but also finish it off. Let us show the customer the finished piece, what it's going to look like.
I just went through that same thing last night. It wasn't a full custom piece. It was a mother's ring. So she was picking a mounting and then the stones. And she she was seeing the mounting with no stones and she couldn't wrap her head around it. She's like, I can't figure out what it looks like. And I could picture it, but as a customer, it is hard to picture. And then we were able to show her it in white gold versus yellow gold. So then she still couldn't get, that full picture.
Yep.
So do we have
the
technology
there that we can supply that rendering as well?
Yep. And what's always the common denominator when we're talking about anything in life?
Cash.
It costs money.
And I have a lot to say. Do you want to say something?
I thought you were going to say, and I have a lot of
No, it's okay. So
no, that I don't.
Yeah, well, I'll answer your question, and then you can go into a tirade.
Okay.
So if we can do it, but we would have to hire a second person, because there's a separate person that would do that type of work. They would draw it all out nice and pretty, and you're probably talking between $500 and $1,000 worth of labor to have that done, and that's the problem.
Our same guy can't do it? The guy who's doing the first CAD can't just...
Nope, because it's not the software that he works with. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different set of software packages. It's a whole different, and it's artistic. It's more of an artistic type of a thing as it is opposed to this is more of a mechanical or between $500 and $1,000 to do that type of work. He has to do that himself. He can't. The other guy can't do that. He can't. The guy that we're used now for this, that's not what he does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
Well, that's I understand now.
Yep.
My thing about custom, just to give my opinion on it, I customize a lot of my things. I customize my car. I'll customize things that I know that I'm never going to get that money back. So if I, like on a Mustang or something, I'm gonna spend all this money to put a new air intake or whatever I put into it. It's actually could number one, devalue that car.
Right.
Not really, it doesn't apply to jewelry, but I'm never gonna get that money back.
Right.
So I just want, the other side of it. So when I'm buying jewelry, as soon as someone calls on the phone and they say, yeah, I have this custom ring, I cringe, okay? Because it's custom to their taste.
Yep.
Right.
And when that comes in, like that ring, that wouldn't be so easy to resell. That is for a very specific taste and a very specific customer. So they're going to pay a lot more money to have it custom made than, say, picking it out of a catalog or something out of stock.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in some instances. And others, if you custom make it and you go to resell that ring when you're tired of it, don't expect to get all that custom money out of it when you're done.
All the labor they paid for, it's impossible to get that money back. So if you don't have every intention on keeping it for the rest of your life, you are going to take a loss on that piece if you choose to sell it.
And I custom things too. I do it, but I know I'm going to do it because I love it. It makes me happy and I want it, but not because I'm going to get my money out of it at the end.
No, that's true. And we do struggle with that, and we try to use eBay and some of these national, platforms to show these pieces to try to open it up to a wider audience when you do have custom pieces. So hopefully you can find somebody like-minded who can appreciate your style and what you're doing with that piece.
And that's another thing, but they are buying it pre-owned.
That
so again, you're not going to get
of course,
all of your money back because it's now a pre-owned piece.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about luxury items.
Right.
We're not talking about investments. If you want to go to the investment show, go to Bloomberg and they'll teach you all about investing money.
Sure.
If you want to have fun and design jewelry and make some fun stuff for yourself and get a fair amount of money back, you'll be okay.
But there is that impression that people have, because I hear it every day. They think it. I have this custom piece. It's designed that and I paid this much for it. That's great, but just don't expect to get that custom price back out of it.
No, I think that's a really good point, and why we're here. The whole point of the show is to kind of open up your minds to all these types of different things that go on in our industry, and be honest and show you exactly how the good and the bad, right?
Yeah.
And bring people on board and
demystify.
Ooh,
right.
I like the sound of
So
that.
basically the good part is that it is exactly what they want. It's to their taste. It's it's more sentimental because they didn't just pick it out of a case. They actually, you know, put thought into it and made it exactly how they want to.
No one else will have
No
one.
one else will have it. That is the great part about it.
Yes.
The bad part about it is if they choose to resell it,
It might be a little difficult.
it's gonna be difficult.
You know?
No, and that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out of time for this particular segment, but
Okay.
that was great. And then we're going to take a short break and come back with a very fun segment coming up.
Cool.